The palace gates stood silent, but inside, a different kind of noise was building. Just moments earlier, a short, carefully written statement had stunned an entire nation. Prince William is facing a serious health challenge. The world paused. Questions began to echo across Britain and beyond. The night before the announcement, Buckingham Palace felt altered, as if centuries of ceremony had bent toward a single human moment. Under the dim lights, the prince left through a side door, coat pulled tight, head bowed. No cameras, no fanfare. It was the kind of quiet exit that writes its own rumors. Aides exchanged uneasy glances. One whispered urgent, but none dared to ask why. In a house built on protocol, silence became the loudest sound of all. Inside his study, a lone lamp burned. Papers were scattered, a note left unfinished, and the fireplace had long gone cold. It looked less like a royal workspace and more like evidence of a private battle. At Windsor, the princes of Wales sat awake. George, Charlotte, and Louis slept upstairs, unaware of the storm forming over their home. Kate's tea had gone cold hours ago. She kept checking her phone, whispering into the stillness, "Please, let him be all right." On a mist-covered road, William sat in silence, fingers locked together, eyes fixed on the night ahead. At a red light, he muttered, "It has to be done." Was it duty? A decision? Or something darker he carried alone? When dawn arrived, the palace moved like a ghost house. Then the statement came, brief, measured, devastating. His Royal Highness is facing a serious health challenge. Those 8 words froze reporters, stopped commuters, and sent shockwaves through every home. The palace assured the public he was receiving the best possible care and asked for privacy. Yet where reassurance ended, speculation began. King Charles, watching from a window, sat motionless as Camilla rested a hand on his arm. They were no longer monarch and consort, but parents confronting fear. "He'll need strength now, all of ours," the king said softly, words that would echo through 1,000 headlines. Across the ocean, Prince Harry watched the news replay in silence, thumb hovering over his brother's number. For once, old arguments felt meaningless. That single image, a man alone with a phone and 1,000 regrets, told the world more than any official statement could. Meanwhile, the public responded with rare unity. Nurses, veterans, and ordinary citizens shared memories of William's kindness. A hospital visit, a handshake, a conversation that lingered. Candles appeared on doorsteps. Flowers covered palace gates. For a fleeting moment, politics paused and compassion led. But silence breeds questions. Did the palace delay revealing the truth? Was this sudden or a struggle long kept private? Some wondered if the statement was designed to protect the man or to protect an institution. Inside the palace, staff walked softly through corridors lined with portraits of ancestors who had survived wars and scandals. Yet this felt different. Not a crisis of monarchy, but of family. And at the center of it, a young heir who had spent his life preparing for duty was now forced to confront his own fragility. Kate became the quiet anchor, tending to her children while holding the public's gaze. Her composure was more than grace. It was strategy. Behind the calm smile stood a woman who had watched her husband shoulder the impossible. Now she bore part of that weight. For years, William's image had been built on discipline and service. A pilot, a veteran, a champion of mental health causes. Yet the same sense of duty that made him beloved may have cost him peace. Had the crown's invisible pressure finally taken its toll? The palace released few updates, each crafted in the language of control. Every sentence soothed some and inflamed others. Supporters praised their dignity. Critics accused them of secrecy. In pubs, schools, and living rooms, people debated what the public deserves to know about the people who lead them. Should a future king's health be transparent? Or is privacy the last sacred right of royalty? Then King Charles broke his silence. In a trembling voice, he said, "My beloved son has shown courage beyond measure." For a moment, the monarch's crown disappeared, and the father remained. His emotion struck a chord, yet even that honesty reopened questions. How can the monarchy balance duty with humanity when the next in line is suddenly vulnerable? Outside the palace, tributes multiplied. Children left drawings, veterans saluted, strangers prayed. A nurse who once met William placed a white rose and whispered. He listened. Those small acts said what headlines could not. The public's bond with him was deeply personal. But as the floral walls grew higher, so did the debate. Some claimed the Royal Communications Office was protecting privacy. Others insisted that secrecy breeds mistrust. In an age of instant news, can mystery still survive? Inside those guarded walls, the family drew close. Kate guided her children through the noise. Charles and Camilla found strength in quiet faith. And across the Atlantic, Harry fought between pride and pain, realizing that brotherhood is harder to bury than anger. This was no longer just a health story. It was a test of tradition versus transparency, a monarchy built on secrecy, now facing a world that demands truth. For now, the palace remains measured. Statements will come slowly, deliberately. But one thing has become clear. Behind the symbols and ceremonies, there is a family, fragile, human, fiercely private. The future of the monarchy may depend on how they navigate this moment. Will they continue the old silence or finally embrace openness in a world that no longer tolerates mystery? The nation waits, holding its breath, hopeful, divided, yet united in a single prayer, that love endures, that duty survives, and that a wounded heart can find its way back to strength.